Alright, so I forgot to shoot the beginning of this video, but I've got this spare, got this spare water pump, and I'm wanting to block off the heater core supply hose. So I heated it up some with some propane, which ended up not even being necessary once I got a good pair of vice grips. But I locked on to those two nipples. This one's for the bypass. I actually didn't mean to take it out. Yeah, I locked on it thinking it was the bottom one, and I got it out, and I was like, oh, we got it. Then nope, still had the bottom one to get, locked back onto it, drove it out, just locked on it, stuck some smaller pair of vice grips in the end of it, locked on the inside of it, hit the, I don't know, like the snout of the vice grips or the head of the vice grips with a ball peen hammer. Drove out pretty easy. Now I can thread and tap that bottom one so I can put a plug in it. I've got to find some of my fittings down here though, because I want to make sure there's a little bit of material there if I have to. No, there's not because of that. I got a little bit there to work with, but got to see if it's feasible for a pipe plug of a certain size to fit in there, because of course I might have to drill it if it's a little bit bigger. Not a whole lot of room there. I don't know if you can see that little bitty ledge right there where the water pump, of course the body of it starts, but there's, I don't know, a little bit of room there. I don't know, 80, 100,000 maybe I'm wrong with that. But I'm gonna get my pipe plugs and see if I can find one that's even close. All right, so I got my fittings out, found this here. Go add a little bit so I make sure I get it in frame. I'm not real good at guessing fitting sizes. If I'd say that's 5/8 or half or 5/8, and it feels feasible, like I could have it drill enough and then tap it and have enough material there for it to hold. Anyways, I'm gonna try on this old water pump, but I'll have to wait till I have some sighted help to of course look at my drill bit and tap chart, see which drill bit to drill it with. I'll have to find out what size this fitting is for sure, and then I'll probably have to buy a tap, because I don't think I have any NPT or pipe fitting taps, whatever they are. But go over and show you what I'm gonna do next. So the thing I'm trying to do away with is this right here. Well, let me get in the right spot, Kevin. This tube right here that runs on the passenger side of a Ford intake. This one's off of an Explorer or a Fox Body one, I can't remember. Anyways, I'm gonna take it loose from the intake, and I'm just gonna block it off back here with a fitting. And then of course down there on the water pump side is what I'm trying to do with threading it or drilling it and tapping it so I can put a pipe plug in it. Do away with that because I don't have a heater core anymore, because race truck, no, we're gonna drive it on the street. We just don't need a heater core. Stupid maybe, but it's what I did. I ain't going back now. But I'm gonna try to get that pipe fitting loose there. It threads into the intake right here. Way on down there, man. That's gonna be a turd to get to. Maybe I undo all these other hoses and move some stuff out of the way first. Don't mind my plug wires; those are just on there for testing purposes. But that's what we're gonna try to do next. Woo! Found a bit of a problem. I don't have a line wrench as big as that down in there. I don't know how I originally put that in, but wish me luck, because I'm gonna get after it with a open end wrench and hope for the best. If that don't work, I'll have to take the valve cover or alternator off and lock on it with some vice grips. Yeah, check back. Got the valve cover took off just to give us a little bit more room. That way, just a little bit easier. Right, guys, that escalated a little bit. Back here on the back of the intake, there's a hold down spot for that coolant tube. So I had to take the carburetor off to get to it. Got the tube off. Got a, where's it at? Got a plug in it. Of course, I got antifreeze all over the intake. I'll mop it up here in just a minute, but I'm going to reassemble and put the carburetor back on, put the valve cover back on, and at least this part of it will be done. I still got to get down there and address the tube that comes from the water pump, but this part of it's done. So there it is, reassembled. Got the plug in there, wherever it is, right there. Valve cover back on, carburetor back on. Let me stick the PCV in there real quick. PCV in. I'm probably gonna leave the spark plug wires off and the fuel line off, so it's kind of disabled, because I did have to take the throttle return springs off, and I always struggle with getting those back on. I might try again here in a minute, but if I do, I'll go ahead, and if I do, I kind of disable stuff like that way I don't forget and come down here and crank in it. Of course, rev, wide open, pop. This old turd engine, old 302 with low oil pressure and probably low compression. I don't want to do a compression test on it because it'll probably hurt my feelings, but I know it's pretty low compression. I don't know. I'll have to check it for blow by. Fire it up later on, take that PCV valve out. But I do know that it has low oil pressure when it gets hot with like 10W40. I don't know if I got 10W40 or 20W50 in it. I think I got 10W40 in it. With 10W40 in it, when it gets hot, it idles about 3 pounds oil pressure. And that's with a new oil pump and everything. But it still runs, still is, doesn't tick. So it's going to live for now until we get that 347 done. So this is back in there. Next, well, I ain't going to tell you. Well, right now, I'm going to leave that for another video. But there it is, reassembled. That, of course, that coolant pipe. For the heater core that goes to the intake to the water pump is gone. Well, I am going to go ahead and take the serpentine belt off. That way, I got something else I want to do, but definitely got to get the serpentine belt off to get in there, at least to the water pump. I might try to do that with the water pump on the engine. Probably going to be really difficult, but I might end up taking the water pump off. But I'll come back if there's more, but if not, thank y'all for liking, commenting, and sharing. Please subscribe, ring the bell, do all those things. I'm the Blind Lime Kevin, the Blind Luck Mechanic. I used to think I needed people to help me in my shop, but I just get back down here and chip away, and it definitely does help, makes things faster. But I can do it on my own. I have done it on my own. I did do it on my own today. But I'll come back if there's more. But if not, peace, love, and y'all keep after it.